This is Patrick Lancaster with a special report for Republic Media Network. Right behind me is part of an electric substation here in the anti-Ukraine government DPR-controlled territory. Now, this morning, Ukraine forces fired shells, artillery shells, from Ukraine-controlled territory. Right in that direction, they are just over a kilometer, and then in that direction, they are about 600-700 meters, and we could see the impact that the shell caused on the top of this substation. Right behind me is this electric substation, which was hit by a shelling this morning. Now, we're in anti-government controlled territory, and just across the ledge in that direction and in that direction is Ukrainian-controlled territory. And they can see us from here. They can see this electro substation and know that they fired on this substation and made this whole village without electricity. And they continue to do this on a daily basis. So there's no question that the substation was targeted by Ukrainian territory. There's so much rhetoric going back and forth now on the ongoing situation between Russia, Ukraine, and the West, but the civilians here are paying the price. I'm here in Donetsk, the anti-Ukraine government, Donetsk People's Republic, as it's called, territory, to show you exactly what's going on in the situation here. So we're going to bring you all the breaking news as it comes. But for right now, there's a village without electricity because Ukraine opened fire on their electric substation on the edge of the town. Right now, I'm coming to you from the area between Yasenovata and Gorlivka with a special report for Republic Media Network. And right behind me, you see an impact crater on the top of this building here, this residential building, a home here in the village of Verkhny Tretskaya, which translates to above the river. And just in that direction is Ukraine positions just over a kilometer, and you can see that the impact was made here and it was launched from those positions there in Ukraine-controlled territory. Now, also in this area, there's been an electric substation that's been hit, and this whole village is without electricity. We're going to go forward and investigate that as well, but we're here on the ground to verify these reports, so we're going to bring more and more information, these breaking news reports to you.
Находимся на Верхоторецкой Нижней. Сегодня в 8 утра произошел обстрел очередной, попадание по частному сектору и также по подстанции. По подстанции регулярно сюда работает, пытается ее зажечь, пытается ее уничтожить, для того, чтобы мирное население. По жилым домам также, с фабрики регулярно работает, которая рабочая фабрика. Без погибших, да. Без погибших, без раненых. Обострение последней недели у нас. Обострение обстрелов происходит больше, с каждым днем все больше. Работает 120-й миномет, 82-й миномет, СПГ, АГС. Также крупнокалиберные пулеметы и также снайпера. Снайпера работают все равно. Гражданские, военные. Работают по всем. Командир подразделения ДНР всегда.
Глава Верхнеторецкой поселковой администрации Павел Сергей Анатольевич. Сегодня в 8 часов утра был обстрел подстанции Раздольная, было повреждено трансформатор был поврежден, линия электропередач, В данный момент около 800 осталось без электроснабжения. Вот. Поэтому еще хотелось бы добавить, что как бы эта подстанция у нас, она одна, которая питает поселок Красный Партизан и Торецкая. Вот. И как бы ее постоянно обстреливают. Она постоянно у нас находится в зоне обстрела. Вот. И часто жители этих прифронтовых поселков остаются без освещения.
And Patrick now joins us live as evacuation is beginning, and we're hearing that you're joining us from center Donetsk, where we're being told that people are being moved to another location. Patrick, what more are you picking up?
Yes, right now I'm in the center of Donetsk and I am inside one of the evacuation buses. Last night, after 2 days of heavy shelling by Ukrainian forces on the anti-government territory, the head of the republic announced that there was going to be a mass evacuation of all women, children, and elderly. And I'm in one of these buses that they are evacuating the people from these breakaway areas, these anti-government areas, to Russia. They are evacuating these people to the Rostov region of Russia, where Russia has said they are waiting for them to help them as refugees.
Patrick, continue talking to us, because we're also hearing that pro-Russian troop mobilization is happening, and this is happening by Ukrainian rebels in the disputed region after shelling by Ukraine. So Ukraine is obviously wanting to be precautious and understanding that the situation is on the edge.
Yes, just less than an hour ago, the head of the anti-Ukraine government, Donetsk People's Republic, Denis Pushlin, announced that there was to be a mobilization, a complete mobilization. Now, at this point, it's unclear whether that's just a mobilization of the current military of the anti-Ukraine government forces, or if they're pulling up civilians and reserves as well. I think we'll find out more information as the day goes, but as of right now, yes, there is a full mobilization ordered by the leader of the republic, and the throughout the night there has been explosions both here in the DPR, the anti-government DPR area, and north to the other breakaway area, the LPR, the Lugansk People's Republic, as it's called. And up there in Lugansk, there were what was reported as sabotage to two gas lines. And as we know, yesterday here, as I reported on, there were two electric substations hit by Ukrainian shelling. So there's a clear pattern that Ukraine is targeting the infrastructure of these anti-Ukraine government republic areas. So we're going to have to see how this develops and how intense this is going to get. But I've been covering this war for 8 years, and I have never seen this happen before. This is a point of no return. Something serious is going to happen here, and we hope the best for the locals, and they're able to evacuate.
Requesting you to stay safe, Patrick. And also on Friday, separatist authorities in Donetsk had announced mass evacuation of women, children, and elderly. And we hear that shortly after that evacuation effort, several explosions hit the rebel-controlled areas. If you can detail that for us.
Yeah, like I said, I'm here in the evacuation, one of the evacuation buses where they're evacuating the people to Russia. Yesterday, the president or the head, the leader of the anti-Ukraine government, Donetsk People's Republic, ordered the evacuation of the women, children, and elderly. And that's where we are in this bus, where you can see behind me, these people evacuating the anti-government controlled territory because the leader said it's dangerous for them here. So something's coming. These people are leaving, and we're going to have to see how this plays out and how intense this goes. But it seems like the bus is about to take off, so I'm going to have to break away, and we're going to continue to cover this story throughout the day.
Patrick, this is the only Indian channel putting out details from the disturbed areas, and you're in that very bus where the evacuation is happening. If you could really give us a sense of how it looks around, talk to some people there, the sense of fear that prevails and what may happen in the next few days, and the conflict area and where the explosives hit. Give us more details, Patrick. We want to understand what is happening there.
Well, since last night, this city has been on edge. There's still people going through the streets, but I mean, this is a very uncertain time for these people. Like I said, this has never happened before in the 8 years of this war. There's been intense fighting in 2014, 2015, 2017, but never has been an evacuation like this. So this is a very difficult time here for the local population. And we're going to have to see how this plays out, because there's this the evacuation plus the mass mobilization. Something big is coming, and we're going to have to see what it is and keep covering this story. And I'll be talking to the people here to find out exactly what's going to go on and how they're feeling.
Absolutely, Patrick, and we don't want to jump the gun here, but I understand that the situation is very critical, and like you're saying, something big is coming. Patrick, what exactly do you mean? Can you get us more voices?
In the last this war has been going on for almost 8 years. May 26th, 2014, this war started here in Donetsk. And in the following months following the war, there was very intense fighting where many civilians died. I was here covering that. The whole city and the whole regions were full of explosions and shelling. And during that time, there was never a mass evacuation like this. Some people did leave on their own, but there was never an ordered evacuation. So if we compare how many people evacuated then with no ordered mass evacuation and what's happening now with this, they're attempting to evacuate close to 1 million people in the next days. If we compare how many evacuated to this, then you can expect very intense fighting to erupt here. It doesn't make any sense either if there was not going to be coming something big. And this is what the leadership and the government of these anti-government forces are saying. They're saying something very big is coming.
So explain to us, Patrick, you've been there for the last 3 days. You have been going into these regions very closely. How has the escalation built up in the last 3 days? And what is the intensity like?
The last 2 days, there's been heavy increase in fighting. There's been several homes hit and a lot of civilian infrastructure hit. And right now we are
I don't wish to interrupt Patrick, but there is a network issue that he's facing on the ground at this point. And like he says, that something big is expected. The escalation in the last 3 days and the mass evacuation that he has been witnessing is also information that he's picking up from the top leadership of what can be expected. We'll leave it here for the time being. Republic being the only channel getting you the situation on the ground from Donetsk and what's expected.